happening, gang? It's your boy Retro back again with another reaction video. Yeah. Today we got another huge update. You guys can probably already tell that it is going down. Just by that title alone, you guys are definitely gonna want to check this one out. So we got that Maine Governor Janet Mills looking at some serious trouble after new evidence for corruption just surfaced that could lead to her being removed from that office and tossed behind bars, guys. And I'm excited to get to this one, so we're not straight into it. All I ask that you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and without further ado, let's straight into it, folks. Check this one out. Okay, you guys, so we're gonna kick this one off with a huge surprise, and I know it's gonna come as a massive shocker to most, but as we can see on our screen right now, that's that Maine Governor Janet Mills receiving the RFK Human Rights Award for her fight to keep biological males within female sports. Makes absolutely no sense to me, but yet she's being awarded for it, and this all coming while allegations continue to swell on her corruption within her office, said to have been giving kickbacks to her family members, her brother and sister. Specifically, we're going to focus on her brother in this one, receiving $22 million from Governor Janet Mills' office. But before we get into that, I want to cover the back and forth that continues to escalate on the men within women's sports, actually making its way to the appellate division.
Oral arguments wrapped up early this afternoon in the case of a censured state lawmaker suing the State House Speaker.
Now, that case was heard in the First Circuit Court of Appeals down in Boston today. Stephanie Grinley joining us live in the newsroom now with the recap. And Steph, this all goes back to Representative Laura Libby's social media post.
Yeah, guys, she was censured in February after posting the name and unblurred photo of a transgender Maine athlete. Libby argued transgender athletes should not be allowed to participate in girls' sports. The Maine House of Representatives decided her social media post put the athlete's safety at risk and violated the legislative code of conduct. So she took House Speaker Ryan Fecteau to court. In today's hearing in federal court, Libby's attorney said this boils down to a denial of equal representation, and they referred to her censure as a de facto expulsion. We saw the representative of Auburn as she made her way in this morning. She told us she's thankful her case has reached this point.
You know, I'm really thankful to finally have our day in court. My 9,000 constituents deserve to have both their vote and their voice back. And so I'm glad that we finally have the opportunity to advocate for them and have our day in court here in the First Circuit Court of Appeals.
The Maine Attorney General's office is representing House Speaker Ryan Fecteau. Assistant AG Jonathan Bolton said the rules in the Maine House are clear and argued the actions taken by Fecteau to bar Libby from speaking and voting on the House floor are covered by legislative immunity. The Supreme Court has since ordered Libby to be allowed to vote in the House while her lawsuit plays out, but she still can't speak on the floor. These were only oral arguments, so no decision today. But we did hear one of the judges talk about this matter, how it puts the court in a tricky spot with having to make a decision in such a local debate. House Speaker Ryan Fecteau said he is not commenting on pending litigation.
All right, you guys, so you'll have to let me know if it's just me feeling this way, but I never thought I'd see the day and age we get to a time where common sense is so rare. I feel like this is a no-brainer situation. There is a reason why we have certain characteristics, qualifications that separate and split up athletes. I mean, it's in order to keep the athletes safe, to keep the sport respectful. You know, you got to think about the genetic makeup and, I mean, biology. If you think about how a male is structured versus how a female is structured, you cannot combine the two or try to put the two against each other. It just never fares well. And just to think about all these athletes that grew up training their entire lives, trying to get to this moment, all to have it crushed by someone who is clearly out of their realm. They should not even be competing with them, but yet they keep going up to bat with them. But on a good note, I'm glad to see common sense is slowly starting to reintroduce itself into the fold.
Olympic gold medalist Simone Biles just apologized to Riley Gaines on X after calling her a sore loser. The two elite athletes have been at it on social media over transgender players participating on women's sports teams. Biles with this, quote, "I always believed competitive equity and inclusivity are both essential in sport. The current system doesn't adequately balance these important principles, which often leads to frustration and heated exchanges, and it didn't help for me to get personal with Riley, which I apologize for." Gaines responded to that apology yesterday.
I accept the apology. I told you this yesterday. Those personal attacks that she issued back last weekend, they didn't hurt my feelings. That's not what hurt my feelings about her remarks. What hurt me personally about what she chose to tweet out was how she was so willing and so quick to sell out young girls. That is the problem that I had here. Again, this apology seems a bit half-hearted.
All right, you guys, I've been doing some searching behind the scenes on Janet Mills, and this is all that continues to come up is the corruption between her siblings, her brother and her sister. We got one here, Democrat Governor Maine Janet Mills' brother pocketed $22 million into his shell company that was meant for the towns in Maine. And this is one story that stuck out to me. I keep seeing this $22 million shoveled over to her brother. We got well. It has been revealed that Democratic Maine Governor Janet Mills has been getting kickbacks, money from her sister who runs a state-funded money transgender care enterprise for minors. Are you surprised? This has definitely been raising some serious eyebrows. There's one video that stuck out to me, though, explaining the whole situation with her brother receiving said $22 million. Got Janet Mills' brother Peter. Peter Mills has his grubby hands on $22 million funneled straight into his shady shell outfit, Western Mountains and Rivers Corp, all tied with Central Maine Power's dirty deals.
Janet Mills, the current governor of Maine, a year before she took office, her brother, Peter Mills, received $22 million through a shell company called Western Mountains and Rivers Corporation. This company also received 670 acres of land on the Dead River, all courtesy of a company called Central Maine Power. When Janet Mills assumed office a year later, she immediately approved CMP to clear cut an 145-mile corridor through Western Maine without the endorsement of any of the localities affected, who were all in major disagreement with the decision. And that $22 million that was supposed to be spent on the towns appears to have been pocketed by this shell company run by Peter Mills, rather than being spent on the people it was actually supposed to. When I reached out to Western Mountains Corp to verify where the funds were spent and the status of the land, my request was ignored, and there exists no information on the firm's website either. This is a clear example of political corruption in the state of Maine and deserves to be investigated further, in my opinion.
All right, you guys, so this is one that definitely stuck out to me with the stories on Maine Governor Janet Mills, but I couldn't find any official sources verifying the claims. Definitely hop in the comment section. You got to reach out to me on socials. It's RetroStef everywhere. Let me know a little bit more on this story. I couldn't independently verify any of these claims, but it looks like this is the running story that we're seeing on Janet Mills, with her shoveling $22 million over to her brother, and her sister also benefiting through these transitioning surgeries. She's in the healthcare field, and she benefits directly from Maine governor's policies trying to keep this, transmission or trans agenda on track. Finally, like I said earlier, you guys, this just is a no-brainer. I'm not understanding why they're going such great lengths to fight common sense, but yet folks on the left are receiving awards for fighting against common sense. And I guess that's what you have to do when you're way outside of the norm, way outside of what makes sense. You have to start awarding each other for, fighting against what makes the most sense. We got Janet Mills receiving the RFK Human Rights Award based on her fight to keep biological males within female sports.
A group right now is recognizing Governor Janet Mills in D.C. for the state's successful legal battles so far against the Trump administration.
Today, we are proud to present Governor Janet Mills with the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Award.
This morning, Governor Mills receiving the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Award. RFK's daughter, Carrie Kennedy, the sister of Trump's Health and Human Services Secretary, RFK Jr., presented that award to Mills for telling Trump, quote, "see you in court," when he threatened to withhold federal money over the state's transgender policies.
Governor Mills is the embodiment of the kind of moral courage my father believed in. She stood up, not for political points, but for principle.
Then when he declared, we are the law, I said the only thing I knew to say and what any country lawyer would have said: see you in court.
Yo, there we have it, guys. Oh my goodness. We're starting to see these deranged loonies on the left handing out awards for fighting to keep biological males within female sports. I'm not even going to begin to try to make sense of it. I'm gonna let you guys hop in the comment section and let me know what you're thinking on. I need your thoughts because of me alone, I can't sort and piece this one through. It just does not make sense to my brain. Like, guys, Janet Mills, her whole corruption scheme that she's got tied to her siblings, you got to let me know a little bit more information, or do you guys believe that this is actually going to have some substance behind it, with the $22 million being funneled over to her brother's shady corporation? Hop in the comment section, guys. Comments are open. I'm excited to hear what you guys are thinking on this one. Also, make sure you guys please hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. If you'd enjoy more content like this, catch you guys on the next week.